आपादमौलिपर्यन्तां गुरूणाम् आकृतिं स्मरेतेन विघ्नप्रणश्यन्ति सिद्धन्ति च मनोरथः। लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितरामितरानपेक्षमङ्घ्रिद्वयं निगमशाकिशिखाप्रवालं भैरम्बम् अम्बुधडम्बरचौर्यनिघ्नं विघ्नातिभेदशतधारधुरन्धरन्नः। सर्वेषां स्वागतम्। This is the second session for the fifth for the sixth shloka. Fifth. Yes, sixth shloka. श्रुत्वाथ सौमित्री वचोखिलं तदा प्राह प्रपन्नार्ति हरः प्रसन्नधीः विज्ञानमज्ञानतमः प्रशान्तये श्रुतिप्रपन्नं क्षितिपालभूषणः. So until this point of time, we've already seen that Lakshmana goes on what he wants, and then in the previous one he said that I'm surrendering. There are two questions that he asks. One is how to get rid of the attachment to samsara, that is bhavapavargam. How do I get away from it? And then the next question he asks is ajnana sagara, shoreless ocean. How do I tarishyami? How do I cross it comfortably and then quickly? So in this, after hearing all these things, now in this verse, Rama has started replying, and his replying, it brings out certain gunas of a Sadguru. And one of the most important things of a Sadguru is that he should first know what you are seeking. That is what the Shishya is seeking. Only then he should start giving the answer. Because you may be seeking a quick relief. It's like going to a doctor. So when the doctor listens to the symptoms that you have said, 2-3 days I wasn't well, why weren't you well? Maybe I got drenched in rain, so I was having fever, etc., etc. Only when he listens to the symptoms, he will be able to diagnose what is exactly wrong with you, what you require, and therefore he will give you the proper medicine for a cure for your ailment. So one of the most important characteristics of a guru is that he should know what the shishya is seeking, what the devotee is seeking. So that person is called a Sadguru, one who gives us the true knowledge. In this case, the appropriate or the right knowledge. So only that at that point of time, he can be brief, he can be as elaborate as possible, but in whatever way he tries to convey that answer to you, that must be such that it must be tailored, suited for that particular shishya. If the person is not, we have already spoken about the qualifications of a shishya, that we will keep aside. He has to be patient and all that. We will keep it. But there are devotees who ask questions continuously without understanding what the guru is trying to say. There are shishyas who are asking questions, but they don't have the patience to understand the answer. So at that point of time, the guru has to first get clarity on what that person is seeking, what the devotee is seeking, what the shishya is seeking. Therefore, Shrutvātha Saumitri Vachokilantada, whatever that Saumitri had to say, he heard him first, listening to them. This is one of the key things in communication, active listening. So in this, one of the gunas of a Sadguru is that. So even in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it so happens that Arjuna Vishala Yoga extends, and then when finally when Krishna starts speaking, he says, it starts from the 10th shloka of the second chapter, where the Tamuvacha Hrishikesha Prasanniva Bharata Senayor Ubhayor Madhye Vishidan Vishidanta Midavachaha. So in the battlefield, in between the battlefield, then he listens to all the depressing pain and whatever sufferings that Arjuna is going through, that Vishada, he completely listens to all his complicated analysis of the situation. He's saying one, these are all my kin, and it is adharma, kula dharma, all those things. So many, he has come up with a variety of different reasons why not to fight. So he first understands, because immediately what question has been asked is only a result of a certain culmination. We don't know what experience has happened for a person to ask this particular question. So therefore, what happens is that that question might have different layers, or that question might not even be the right question. The person must realize what he is lacking, or why what he needs. Only then he'll be able to zero in on a question from an experience. If he's not able to do that, then like we see, not everybody is udara buddhi. Here Lakshmana is described as udara buddhi, and asadika shuddha bhavana. So therefore he has that qualifications where we can say that he has analyzed what his problem is, and then he is zeroed in on the key to get rid of those problems. But when we go towards Arjuna is not exactly the perfect model for a student, we can say, because he is in that the situation also has to be given more weightage. Here, Lakshmana is asking the questions only after a certain period of time, after the incident has occurred. There, he is in the midst of one big problem that he is experiencing, that is to fight his kin, Arjuna. So one cannot expect him to understand, him to analyze his own problems and come up with questions. He's just blurting out. He's asking, "How can I do this? How can I do that?" He in the moment he is coming out with these. So obviously, those questions need not be answered as they are. The questions Krishna needs to understand first of all where the root cause lies. And that's the reason in the beginning, whatever answers are given, it is only with respect to the questions. It is not elaborated. When Krishna says, how can I harm my own kin? He says, na jayate mriyate va kadachit. That means the sharira you're not harming. So he's giving some solace to the mind that you're not actually harming them, because Atma will not die. So he's first treating that ailments, then he goes deep into it. Then further, after the fourth chapter, fifth chapter, sixth chapter, and further when we go on, eighth chapter, very high level of Adhyatma Vidya. So there he starts going a little deep into that knowledge, because he didn't go on his own. First, the doctor decides whether treating the symptoms is enough, because the body has the capacity to rejuvenate itself, treat the ailment itself. It just needs some aid. My body may take around 2-3 days to recover from fever. Taking a paracetamol will not get rid of the fever completely. It will help the system. As long as it aids the system, that is okay. But the paracetamol itself must not, get rid of the fever. When that happens, then the body will suffer, because the body also needs to build up its immunity. So what happens is that when we are talking about a question, the question must also be analyzed by the guru. Is this person, first of all, wants me to answer a question directly, a yes or no question maybe, or is it so that that person has the eligibility? So when I answer a question, when I give him, will he be so interested enough to prod it further, ask me more about it? Then he will give us more information. Then the guru will give us more information. So a Sadguru, first of all, is someone who understands the nature of the student. So there are two things involved. A Sadguru, one who listens to his Shishyas and then he gives them exactly what they want. It might not be direct. Obviously, he'll not give it on a platter saying that take. He'll not spoon feed. He also has to make us think. So he will give us the elements. We have to first find the answer. And then that answer might give us a new perspective. And then once again, go back to the problem. Maybe something else has to be considered. That is what Arjuna does in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where he simply giving an answer to him. And then he goes back to the problem and then he thinks, okay, in that case, if Atmas don't die, what happens to them? What is Adhyatma Vidya? What is Brahman? What is that Atma? Then slowly he starts expanding. No, everything is because of me only, etc., 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 etc. So we need to go back to the problem again and again. That is one more thing. But a Sadguru is someone who has these three general qualities speaking. One is that he listens properly to what the issue is from the devotee or the Shishya or the student. Second, he replies such a way that the student is satisfied with that answer, that is satisfied as in whatever was required, that has been fulfilled. But it also, the third one is that it also invokes a higher thinking in a student. So these are the qualities of a Sadguru. So in Mundaka Upanishad, it says, Tasmai sa vidvanupa vidvanupasannaya samyak prashanta chittaya shamanvitaya yenaksharam purushau veda satyam purusham veda satyam provacha tam tatvato brahma vidyam. So tasmai sa how do I split this? Vidwan upasannaya. Vidwan upasannaya. So the person to the pupil, to that a teacher is looking at, imagine a teacher, and then a person, one devotee or one shishya goes to him with a question. One who looks at that, the teacher is a person, a guru, Sadguru is a person who looks at the student with kindness, with courtesy. Upasannaya samyak. He doesn't ridicule him. He doesn't say, oh, you can't even get this right. That is not a teacher. Someone who criticizes you, that is not a teacher. The one who looks at you with kindness. So when a particular person, Sannaya is getting close to him, when Upasannaya, when getting close to him. So when they get close to him, that is when they ask him, and he doesn't ridicule you. He asks you to, he gives you the confidence to ask whatever you want to ask. That is the true nature of a teacher. And then Prashanta Chittaya Shamanvitaya, the one who is perfectly calm and has control over his senses. Prashanta Chittaya Shamanvitaya. And then Yenaksharam Purusham Veda Satyam, the one who has understood, or from whom you will get to know the nature of the Brahman and the supreme truth, and who speaks the divine knowledge of Brahman to you, who speaks provacha tam tattvataha brahma vidyam, the one who gives the Brahma Vidya. So these are the qualifications. So here Brahma Vidya, we are not, if you want to take it in the context of Adhyatma, yes, Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya, Atma Bodha. We are talking about approaching anyone for anything. Then the person who has sufficient knowledge of it, expertise in that is very important. I'm going to somebody who is a novice. Probably that person will also give me some solution, but it might not be the right one. It might not be the right approach, or it may work, but it may not work for everything. So acquiring knowledge from an expert is also an extremely important thing. That is the reason one must always know whom to approach. So this is one of these are the four important things, nature of a Sadguru. One is that he has to listen to the devotee, understand completely. He has to listen to the devotee completely, patiently, and he must understand the query of the nature of the query of the seeker. And then second, he should give an answer suited to that particular person. He cannot give, I cannot give a um, spiritual answer to a person who is tormented or who is not seeking it. So he has to give an answer very specially suited to the question. It should also make him. The third one is that he should also give an answer, not spoon feed him. He should give an answer such that he himself starts thinking. And then the fourth one is that he should actually, this should be the first consideration, is that he should have enough expertise in that field before we even approach him. So these are the four important things that we learn about a Sadguru from the sixth shloka of Sri Rama Gita. So with this, we will end the Saṃskāra session. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः प्रतिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि।